Welcome to the Test Answer Sheet tutorial for Remark Office OMR version 10. This tutorial is designed to provide you with experience in the basic and a few advanced functions of creating a form template and processing forms. In this tutorial, we will create the Test Answer Sheet form template, process completed tests, review and correct data output, save the test data, grade the tests, and save a grade report. The first step in this process is to create a form template outlining the areas of the form you want the software to recognize. If you aren't already running it, start Remark Office OMR. Select the File menu and then click New Form Template. Alternatively, in the left-hand panel, known as the task pane, select New from the Templates tab. Either of these actions will open up a second window containing the Remark Office OMR template editor. If the template editor opens, but you do not see the Properties Form Template window, select the File menu and then click New Form Template. This window is where you describe your form to Remark Office OMR. You do this by entering basic information about your form, including the form template description, page size, and page orientation. Enter Test Answer Sheet in the description box. Then locate the page size area where you can tell the software the size paper your form uses. If it isn't already selected, select a US letter in the size drop-down list. Locate the page orientation area and select Portrait. Then click the Capture Image button to continue. The Create Page Element window appears. This window allows you to either acquire an image of your form from your scanner or acquire an image of your form from an existing image file. Each page in a form template is created using an image of the appropriate page in your form. The image allows you to see the form so that you can easily teach Remark Office OMR how to read it. In this demonstration, we will be acquiring our image from a pre-scanned image file stored on your computer. Click the button for Read Images in the Image Collection method area. Click the Browse button. The Select Image File window opens. Select the Tutorial1 TestAnswerSheet.tif file from the Tutorial1 folder of your Remark Office OMR installation directory. Then click the Open button. Once an image is acquired by opening an existing image file, the template editor displays a thumbnail of the image for your approval. When a thumbnail image of your form appears, click the OK button to accept the image. Once the thumbnail image is accepted, the template editor opens a new form template where you can begin to define the regions. You will see a tree view on the left and an image representation of your form on the right. The purpose behind making a form template is to tell the software where to locate the information on your specific form and how to understand your specific data requirements. This table displays the 6 regions on the Test Answer Sheet form and their corresponding region types. The first area of the form to define is a student name, which is defined as an OCR region. OCR, which stands for Optical Character Recognition, involves reading computer-generated text. It is important to note that Remark Office OMR cannot automatically read handwritten text. In this case, the test answer sheets were printed with each student's name on them before they were distributed. Using OCR allows you to quickly collect each student's name and then use this information on subsequent grade reports. Highlight the Page 1 node on the left side of your screen if it isn't already highlighted. Select the Page menu, click Insert, and then click OCR Region after selected page, or click the OCR toolbar button to insert an OCR region. Alternatively, select the Define Regions link in the task pane and then select Insert OCR Region. The mouse will change to a crosshair. To create the OCR region, place the cursor just beyond the top left of the text, then press and hold the left mouse button while dragging the rectangle beyond the bottom right corner of the text, making sure you have selected the entire allotted space. For OCR areas, capture a little extra space at the end of the text to accommodate the largest amount of text you might process. After positioning the box, release the mouse button and the Properties window appears. This window allows you to define the region's properties by providing pertinent information about the text. Note that you can use your cursor to drag and slide the Properties box on your screen if you need to see something on your form. Do not worry if the region is not drawn perfectly at first. You can easily adjust the region by dragging the borders as needed after the region's properties are defined and the Properties window closes. Type student name in the region name box. The region name provides a brief description of the region and becomes a name for this column in your dataset. Set the OCR type to primary. Primary OCR works well in most cases and is the default setting. The following options should be set to their default settings. Data type is textual. We are collecting student names, which are textual. If we were to export our data once it is collected, the data type would be flagged as textual in the output file. When creating your own form templates, the data type you select can be textual or numeric, depending on the type of data you require. Language is English. Orientation should be left to right. The text on our form is oriented from left to right. Additionally, all the OCR image preprocess options should be unchecked. Mark the checkbox for region contains more than one word. This region contains both a first and last name for each student. Click the Advanced Region Properties link in the task pane to the left. In the area called Analysis Respondent ID, mark the checkbox for Designate as a Respondent ID. When you run reports in Remark QuickStats, any regions marked as Analysis Respondent IDs appear on select reports to identify each respondent. This way, you can run student grade reports with the students' names on them to hand them back to the students or parents. Click the OK button to return to the main template editor window. You will now see a purple box around the text in the image area, identifying it as an OCR region. Additionally, you will see a new node in the tree view titled Student Name. The teacher name is defined as a barcode region. Using a barcode allows you to quickly collect each teacher's name and then use this information on subsequent grade reports. In our case, we will filter our data by teacher in order to evaluate teacher performance. Highlight the student name node on the left side of your screen if it isn't already highlighted. Select the Region menu, click Insert, and then click Barcode Region after selected region. or click the barcode toolbar button in order to create a barcode region. Alternatively, select the Define Regions link in the task pane and then select Insert Barcode Region. The mouse will now change to a crosshair. To create the barcode region, place the cursor just beyond the top left of the barcode. Then press and hold the left mouse button while dragging the rectangle beyond the bottom right corner of the barcode, making sure you have selected the entire allotted space. For barcodes, capture a little extra space at the end of the barcode to accommodate the largest possible barcode you might process. It is okay to encapsulate the text beneath the barcode since it is so small. After positioning the box, release the mouse button and the Properties Barcode Region window appears, allowing you to define the region's properties. This window allows you to provide pertinent information about the barcode. Type teacher name in the region name box. The region name provides a brief description of the region and becomes a name for this column in your dataset. Set the barcode type to code 39 and barcode orientation to horizontal. These settings allow you to specify the barcode type to be recognized and/or the positioning of the barcode on your form. Set the data type to textual. We are collecting teacher names, which are textual. If we were to export our data once it is collected, the data type would be flagged as textual in the output file. Click the OK button to return to the main template editor window. You will now see an orange box around the barcode in the image area, identifying it as a barcode region. You will also see a new node in the tree view titled Teacher Name. The 50 test questions are broken into 2 sections, each containing 25 questions. You can create an OMR region for the first 25 questions, and then copy and paste that region to the other set of 25 questions. When creating similar regions, using copy and paste can save time. Once you paste a region, you can access its properties to make any changes. However, by copying similar regions, you save time in entering all of the region information. Highlight teacher name in the left side of your screen if it isn't already highlighted. Click the OMR toolbar button to insert an OMR region. Then use the crosshair to draw a box around the first set of 25 questions, beginning at the top left with the first A bubble and ending at the bottom right for the last E bubble. When defining an OMR region, include only the actual marks. Never include nearby labels or text. Also, create approximately a 1/8 inch buffer space between the marks and the edge of the defined region. This buffer allows Remark Office OMR to accommodate minor shifting or skewing during form processing and decrease the number of data exceptions you need to clean in the resulting data. After positioning the box, release the mouse button. The Properties OMR Region window appears, allowing you to enter information that will define the OMR region and the data it produces, including region definition, region layout, and possible responses. Enter question in the region name box. We call the 2 regions containing the 50 questions question. Your region names will then become question 1 through question 50. Select multiple as the OMR type. The multiple region designation is used for typical multiple choice style questions. There are other types of OMR regions that can be seen if you click down the arrow to the right of multiple. These additional region types offer differing types of data output. The additional OMR region types are explained in your Remark Office OMR User's Guide. Select textual for the data type. The region contains the answer choices A through E. Therefore, textual data is appropriate. In the region layout area, select a row for region orientation because each question occupies one row. Ensure that 5 was entered in the columns in the region box and 25 in the rows in the region box. The 5 columns represent our answer choices, and the 25 rows represent our 25 questions. Use the possible label scales drop-down list to select A through E. These labels automatically fill in the labels grid. Your choice of labels in the form template determines what you see in the dataset when your filled-in forms are processed. The labels represent the response choices for each bubble, moving from top to bottom. You will notice that each label automatically has a value in the values column to the right. While the labels represent the data you see returned from the processed forms, the values represent the information Remark Office OMR uses to perform any statistical analysis. These values are not grading point assignments. Click the OK button to return to the main template editor window. You will now see a green box around questions 1 through 25 in the image area, identifying them as an OMR region. You will also see a new node in the tree view titled Question. Next, copy the region you just created and paste it over the remaining 25 questions. Copying similar questions saves time in the template creation process. With the question node highlighted in the tree view, select the Edit menu and then click Copy. Again, select the Edit menu and then click Paste. You can also use the keyword shortcut keys for copy and paste for quick copying and pasting. A red region is drawn near questions 1 through 25. Place the mouse directly over the red region until it becomes 2 double arrows, and then drag the new region to questions 26 through 50, positioning it directly over the 25 questions. Release the mouse and check your positioning. If the solid red color disappears, this is an indication that you have moved the box successfully. If the region is still red, however, hover your mouse over it to see the text describing where your problem lies. You should now have 2 OMR regions, one covering each of the groups of 25 questions. The 2 nodes in the tree view will be titled Question 1 through 25 and Question 26 through 50. The question at the bottom of the exam answer sheet that reads Bonus is used to add extra credit points to the overall test score. Highlight the Question 26 through 50 node in the tree view if it isn't already highlighted. Click the OMR toolbar button to insert an OMR region and use the crosshair to draw a box around the bonus questions bubbles A through E. When the Properties OMR region box opens, enter bonus in the region name box. Select multiple as the OMR type. This is a multiple choice style question. Select textual for the data type. This region contains the answer choices A through E, so textual data is appropriate. In the region layout area, select row for the region orientation because the question is oriented in one row. Enter 5 in the columns in the region box and 1 in the rows in the region box. The 5 columns represent our answer choices A through E, and the one row represents our single bonus question. Use the possible label scales drop-down list to select A through E. These labels automatically fill the labels grid. The labels represent the data output you see when you process forms. Corresponding values are automatically entered in the values grid. These values are used for statistical analysis. They are not grading point assignments. Click the Advanced Region Properties link in the task pane to the left. In the area called Testing Point System, change the number set for correct points to 5. When the tests are graded, if the student gets the bonus question right, they will be rewarded 5 extra credit points. Mark the checkbox for treat awarded points as extra credit. When grading, whether using quick grade or advanced grade, this question is considered extra credit. Click the OK button to return to the main template editor window. You will now see a green box around the bonus question in the image area, identifying it as an OMR region. You will also see a new node in the tree view titled Bonus. The official use only area allows a teacher to bubble in points awarded for a subjective question on the test. Subjective questions could be essays or short answer questions or anything of the like. This type of question has to be graded by a person, but you can add the points earned to the total test by designating it as a subjective question. Highlight the bonus node in the tree view if it isn't already highlighted. Click the OMR toolbar button to insert an OMR region. Then use the crosshair to draw a box around the entire set of bubbles in the official use only area's question bubbles. When the Properties OMR region box opens, enter subjective in the region name. We title it subjective in order to remember that this question is for designating our subjective points for the human graded part of this test. Grid regions capture information that spans across multiple rows and columns, but consists of a singular piece of data, such as zip codes, names, social security numbers, phone numbers, or anything of the like. In our case, the teacher bubbles in a 2-digit number representing the points earned on the subjective portion of the test. Select numeric for the data type. This region contains a 2-digit number, so numeric data is appropriate. In the region layout area, select a row for the region orientation because the question is oriented by row. Enter 10 in the columns in the region box and 2 in the rows in the region box. The 10 columns represent our answer choices 0 through 9, and the 2 rows represent the digits in the subjective score. Use the possible label scales drop-down list to select 0 through 9. These labels automatically fill the labels grid. The labels represent the data output you see when you process forms. Click the Advanced Region Properties link in the task pane to the left. Under Test Settings, mark the option for Grade this item. In the Testing Point System area, under Item Test Type, select Subjective Item. For subjective points, enter 20. Click the OK button to return to the main template editor window. You will see a green box around the official use only question in the image area, identifying it as an OMR region. You will also see a new node in the tree view titled Subjective. We are finished creating all the regions in our form template and need to save the form template as a file we can use to process forms. select the File menu and then click Save. Alternatively, select the Save link in the task pane. Make note of where you save the form template file. In the File name box, type Tutorial 1 and then click the Save button. You have now created the Tutorial 1 form template. Close the template editor by selecting the File menu and then clicking Exit. Alternatively, you may simply click the X in the upper right corner of the template editor window. Now that you have created the form template for the test answer sheet, you are ready to begin processing the completed forms using the supplied image files. If you aren't already running it, start the Remark Office OMR Data Center. When the Data Center opens, it displays a blank, spreadsheet-style data grid. Select the File menu and then click Open Form Template. Alternatively, select the Open Other Templates link in the task pane. You must open a form template in order to process forms. Select the tutorial1.omr file you created in the previous section of this tutorial, and then click the Open button. Alternatively, we have provided a sample file in your Remark Office OMR installation directory. When the Tutorial 1 form template opens, its name appears on the title bar at the top of the screen, and you see the region names you specified as your column headers in the data grid. Each column in the grid corresponds with one variable or question in the form template, as the column headers indicate. The data grid fills row by row as your completed forms are processed. Each grid row contains information from one processed form, regardless of the number of pages the form contains. The Read window is used to process completed forms and produce data. The Read window has several steps to help customize the reading process. This tutorial focuses on the basic functions. As stated previously, we are reading pre-scanned image files. Select the Tools menu and then click Read. Alternatively, you may select the Read link from the task pane or the Read button on the toolbar. Select the Read Images button if it isn't already selected. Click the Next button to continue. The image selection window appears to enable you to view and select the images you want to process. Navigate to the Tutorial 1 folder of your Remark Office OMR installation. Navigate to the Images for Processing folder. Select the files called Tutorial1 AnswerKey.tiff and Tutorial1 CompletedTestForms.tiff by either double-clicking them or selecting them and clicking the Add Selected, which moves them in the Images and Read Order window. You may also click the Add All button to move any images in the folder to the Images List window. Note that the first file in this list is the answer key for the test. The second file is a multi-page TIFF image file that contains 20 student tests. Click the Next button to continue. The Review Exception window appears. This window allows you to configure options for reviewing exception cases, such as blank and multiple responses. We will not be using this feature in this tutorial. If the Enable Review Exceptions button is selected, click it to deselect this option. We are not reviewing exceptions at this time. Click the Read button to begin reading the image files. As each image is processed, you see a row added to the data grid. After the forms are processed, 21 rows of data are displayed in the data grid. Each row represents the responses collected from one of the forms. The first row is the answer key for the test, and the following rows are student tests. You are now ready to inspect the data for missing or unrecognized responses in order to prepare for analysis and/or data export. Remark Office OMR informs you of unrecognized or questionable responses by placing a visible marker in each appropriate data grid cell. Each one of the types of problematic or potentially inaccurate data is represented by a specific color and explanatory text. The software then assists you to correct exception cases or problems by allowing you to see what was entered on the actual form. The stored images for each processed form are available to display your respondent's answer choices. You can click inside any cell in the data grid to view the corresponding image of that form. If you click on a cell and do not see an image beneath the data grid, select the View menu and then click Image Viewer to open the image viewer. We use an automated tool called Review Exceptions to locate and correct any exceptions in our data. Click the Tools menu and then select Review Exceptions, or click the Review Exceptions link in the task pane. Once you access Review Exceptions, use the task pane to select the exception cases you would like to review. Blank responses, multiple responses, recognition errors, image regions, database lookup regions, barcode regions, OCR regions, repeated rank responses, or required items. You can also choose whether to search by rows or columns in the data grid. Click the Next button at the top of the data grid to start the review process. The data center searches the data for the specified exception cases. When a selected exception case is found, it appears in the data header bar at the top of the data grid. The bar is color-coded to match the exception type. Use this window to make changes. You can use the drop-down list if applicable, or type a response. Note if there is a list of answer choices defined, as you begin typing, Remark Office OMR will attempt to autofill your answer based on your possible answer choices. The first piece of flag data is a multiple response in the 8th grid row for the item called Question 8. In the data header bar, use a drop-down list to select the appropriate response. Use the image viewer beneath the data grid to review the student's exam. In this case, you see the student accidentally marked A and then put an X through it. The intended response was B. Select B from the drop-down list. You may also simply type B. Press Enter or click the Next button to continue. The next exception is a multiple response in row 16 for question 12. Look at the image viewer to see the intended response. In this case, the student marked both D and E, but crossed out E. Use a drop-down list in the Review Exceptions pane to select D from the list, or simply type D. Press Enter or click the Next button to continue. The next exception is a blank response in row 17 for question 6. Look at the image viewer to see the intended responses. In this case, the student truly left the question blank. You may simply press Enter to ignore it. This question will be marked as incorrect when the data are scored. Press Enter or click the Next button to continue. All exceptions have been cleaned and you are prompted to save the changes. Click the Save Changes button in order to save the changes. Your dataset is now ready to be saved and analyzed. Remark Office OMR provides many file formats for exporting data to other applications. For this tutorial, the dataset is saved to the Remark Extended format, which is a proprietary format within the software. This format saves the exception colors if there are any present, as well as the link from the data to the stored images, so that you can open your data and still view the image that corresponds with any piece of data. Select the File menu and then click Save Data, or click Save Data in the task pane. Data can be saved anywhere on your system. By default, a data folder is installed in the Remark Office OMR directory. We recommend using this folder for the storage of data files. In the Look In box, navigate to this data folder on your system. Click the Save As Type down arrow to display a list of file types. If not already selected, click the Remark Extended format. Type Tutorial 1 in the box titled File Name. Then click the OK button to save the file. Remark Office OMR provides statistical analysis functionality for grading data from your tests. There are two ways to grade an exam. Quick Grade uses the first grid row as the answer key by default, as well as all settings defined in the form template. Advanced Grade allows you to customize a grading process, including adding benchmark values, customized grade scales, and learning objectives. For this tutorial, we will demonstrate Advanced Grade. Select the Tools menu, click Analysis, and then click Advanced Grade. Or select the Analysis tab in the task pane, and then click the Advanced Grade link. The Basic Test Options window appears. Mark the checkbox for Use a Test Benchmark. Choose Custom and enter the number 75. A benchmark is a target score you want your students to achieve. Reports that include the benchmarks show you which students achieved the benchmark percent and which did not, as well as the difference between the student's score and the benchmark. Using benchmarks is useful for seeing how well your students are mastering topics. Click the Answer Key link in the task pane to continue. The Answer Key window appears. This window is where you want to specify an answer key. You may scan a key, import a key from an image file, use a grid row as a key, or type an answer key. In our case, we process the answer key as the first row of our data grid. In the Import Answer Key form box, use the drop-down arrow to select Dataset Grid Row. By default, the grid row box is filled with the number 1. Click the Import Key button to obtain the answer key responses from the data grid. Click the Question Properties link in the task pane to continue. The Question Properties window appears. This window allows you to change properties you defined in the form template for this grading session. You may change things such as respondent identifiers, point values, correct answers, data type, and question text. You may also add a benchmark value for individual questions. Changes made here do not change the form template. You may hold down the Shift or Control keys and select multiple questions to make the same change to each question. For the purposes of this tutorial, we set up everything correctly in the form template, so we do not need to make adjustments to this window. Click the Learning Objectives link in the task pane to continue. The Learning Objectives window appears. This window is where you define learning objectives, which are sometimes referred to as subtests. You may assign questions to each learning objective you define so that the software provides a separate grade for that subset of questions. This feature allows you to track progress on specific objectives that you are teaching your students. For this tutorial, we are defining 2 learning objectives. Click the New button. In the objective name, enter spelling. Mark the Use Benchmark box, select Custom, and enter 75. Using a benchmark score indicates that your students need to score at least 75% on this learning objective in order to be considered proficient at spelling. Again, click the New button. Enter grammar in the objective name box. The same benchmark value of 75 is pre-filled for you. You should now have 2 learning objectives defined, spelling and grammar. The next step is to pick the questions that belong to each learning objective. Highlight spelling in the Learning Objectives column. In the Available Questions column, click Question 1. Hold the Shift key and then click Question 10. Question 1 through Question 10 are now selected. Click the Align Questions button. The questions appear under Spelling in the Learning Objectives column. Highlight Grammar in the Learning Objectives column. In the Available Questions column, click Question 11, hold down Shift, and then click Question 20. Question 11 through Question 20 are now selected. Click the Align Questions button. The questions appear under Grammar in the Learning Objectives column. We are finished setting up the answer key, so click the Grade button. You are now prompted to save the answer key. Saving answer keys is useful if you administer the same test on multiple occasions. Click the Yes button to save the answer key. In the Save Answer Key window, type Tutorial 1 in the file name box. Click the Save button to save the file. You will receive a confirmation notice that the file was saved, and then Remark QuickStats will open. Once Remark QuickStats opens, you have access to a variety of grade reports. You can report on the test itself, the class, or individual students. For this tutorial, we will look at the student statistics, student response, and student grade reports. By default, the student statistics report displays automatically. If you are not seeing this report, select the Student Statistics Report link in the list of reports under Class and Student Reports. The Student Statistics Report displays grades for the entire class. Each student can optionally be identified by an Analysis Respondent ID region if desired. The Analysis Respondent ID would be chosen in the form template or advanced grade. In this tutorial, we designated the student name OCR region as the Analysis Respondent ID. You can also view the benchmark information and learning objectives. This report provides a nice overview of how your class is performing. Use the page navigation tools at the top of the window to review various pages of your report. Next, we will look at the student response report. The student response report allows you to view class and question performance, along with score data in a graphical format. In the task pane, under Class and Student Reports, select the Student Response Report link. The report displays each question across the top and each student down the left. Green indicates the question was answered correctly. Red indicates the question was answered incorrectly, and white indicates the question was left blank. Means are included at the bottom of each column. Use the navigation tools at the top of the window to scroll to the second page, where you find summary score information. Report colors are customizable in the Reports options located in the Style pane on the right side of the window. Finally, we will look at the Student Grade Report. In the Task pane, under Class and Student Reports, select the Student Grade Report link. Select one or more students from the respondents list, and then click the Add button to move them to the selected respondents list. Alternatively, click the Add All button to move all students over. Click the Run Report button. The report displays on the right. The Student Grade Report shows an individual report of each student's grades. You can show the correct and incorrect responses, as well as an image of the actual test as it was scanned. You can also add customized headings, such as high, low, and mean scores for the class. Learning objectives are tracked, as well as subjective and extra credit points. Once you have tabulated your data, you can save a report and/or export the report to one or more formats for either storing or sharing with others. For this tutorial, we will export the student grade reports to PDF files. Saving to this format allows you to email test grades to parents, for example. Select the File menu, click Export, and then click Report, or click Export Report link in the Task pane. In the Export Report box, select Portable Document Format, PDF. In the Pages area, select All. Set the image quality to its default value of High. Click the Export button to choose a location and file name for the PDF file. In the Save As window, use the Look In drop-down list to locate a folder on your computer for the file. For this tutorial, use My Documents or another folder where you can easily access the exported report. Click the Save button to export the report. You may now go to the My Documents folder on your computer and view the resulting PDF files. You have now completed the test answer sheet tutorial for Remark Office OMR version 10. This tutorial illustrated basic and some advanced features of the software, including creating a form template in which we set advanced region options, processing forms, using review exceptions to clean our data, saving the data, grading tests with advanced grade, and exporting reports. If you have any questions or issues regarding Remark Office OMR, please contact Remark Support.